turn this. There we go. I need to go way back.
Okay. Hang on a second. No. So that's right.
That's right.
Yeah. See, now when I say I have to go full screen, right, to make it. That's just my phone, isn't it? Oh, sorry. We're just being good at being in the way.
Okay, if I do
that, what does it do? No, it was okay.
I don't understand.
It was better, but see, I'm hoping it's not me. Maybe I'll get Dean's friend. You turned your camera sideways. Yeah. You see? Oh. Okay. It might also be the Wi-Fi in here that I'm not getting. Right here? Okay, so here, just let me try this one. Are you still on right now?
Yep.
I'm still sideways.
Shadow. I'm gonna make everything I do, it looks the same.
Yeah.
My daughter's does she wear books?
I haven't seen what's the other one in my next week, but I mean, this is the most used time. I have a feeling my Wi-Fi signal is still bad in here. I was able to family
There it goes sideways again, is what they're saying.
So how did you?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Say to me that you won't believe me.
Right there.
Once my husband worked in Halifax.
Okay.
We've just been together here 5 years. We've been together about 12. And so I would come out. I was up here once for 2 days. And we go up to
Okay. Now I'm good.
But now we don't have everyone, so I need to.
Oh, right. I think he meant one, but we weren't on this dial.
I have 3 now.
Right.
our friend is Mayoral.
Norway, which was a fly fishing camp. Years, like back in the 20s. What happens if you turn your phone the other way?
It goes sideways on everybody.
Okay.
They're all complaining.
Okay. Yeah.
Do I just?
I wonder what would happen.
is that what you
that's
have
my
right now?
that's my camera.
Oh, that's
I
your
just wanted to see if it would be different.
I know that's what I had done initially as well.
Yeah.
I wanted to see if my camera would do it. Do I just need to follow everybody?
Yeah. Well, I suppose could you zoom in on them?
I can't zoom.
You can't zoom on Facebook Live.
No.
So I can see 3 of the candidates right now. So what if you come back further?
Yeah, but you know what? I have gone to mail for
Well, Mark went on Friday, like no. And I heard someone.
on my phone?
What triggered it in my mind was I think I heard them talking about it on the radio, and they were saying,
How many do you
"So
see
you
now?
need this PIN number, which you receive in the mail." But I said,
But I'm
"Well,
sideways
anything
again.
yet."
You got 4.
I got 4 now. Yeah. Because it's too.
There's a little drag.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm only seeing 3 that way.
Did you
you get to PEI this summer?
No, but they came over.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. They came over and they stayed at the cabin.
Yeah.
How far back would you have to go to get all four on your screen?
And
long
they
ways.
stayed over at Ryan's
Oh,
for the
okay.
weekend.
Oh, you just go first.
It was Labor Day weekend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Did they like it there?
Me?
That would have been
So we're only
fabulous.
getting 3 chairs.
Three kids, lots of space.
Hopefully they stay there every
When
year.
it does, it flips it. When she tries to do it that
It
way.
worked really nice.
Close enough
Yeah.
that you all have your own
They
space.
have their space
Yeah.
because, I mean,
I'm okay
two
right
of the
now.
kids stayed overnight with us anyhow, but, you know, it's just, you can walk, it's just the other end of the beach, so.
That's quite a big new place is being built down near your cabin.
Yes, that's friends of ours from Toronto.
Now, we took a walk
How does it
there,
look
I think, at the beginning of the summer, and I had no idea it was there. And all of a sudden, we came
Yeah.
across this new construction. I
You
was
know,
like, wow.
they have that spot,
As soon as she puts her camera that way, I wonder if there's
kind
something
of the
set
year
up.
before last. And they really used it last summer
People are like,
as
this is
the original.
hilarious.
And they wanted to do an
It is funny.
extension,
Sorry, guys. Oh,
just a bedroom,
that's perfect.
but with the roof
That's
line and
perfect.
everything,
It's perfect for them?
they couldn't
Yeah,
do
that's what
it.
they're saying.
As long as the public is there, can they see it?
Can you guys let us know? Does this work? Please send me a
It was all
message.
done in a matter of hours. You didn't even know it was being done.
I'm going to say
Wow,
it's in my
shocking.
settings. But it must be in yours.
Yeah, I know what that's
Because that was one of the originals, like ours. Yeah.
Oh. I don't even remember what it looked like before. I just,
It was a log cabin. They had painted their
Yeah.
but it wasn't natural that way.
It works. Andrew McVicker says it
yeah, it's all
works.
built on.
So he's fine?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
And I think with those,
Yeah,
what
they're
can
good.
happen,
Okay, well, as long as they're
years
good.
down
Loretta
the road,
says
get
it's
all
good.
forward and water
Yeah.
levels,
Yeah.
rise, whatever. They can
Oh, my laptop is on my
Yeah.
laptop. Is
And I
just
think
turn
that
your
was
phone,
one of
everyone.
the
Okay.
Issues too. They wanted to make sure
It was high enough.
Yeah.
I think this
I mean,
works.
they
Yeah.
are our age, but they have their son lives in Nova Scotia up outside Windsor.
Oh, right.
Christopher Snarby says it is
Have you ever
sideways.
heard of
Is the
his
sideways?
Yeah.
jewelry?
Yes.
Yes. Well,
That's
he
him?
owns that.
Oh,
So we're divided.
So he has a family.
So I'm sideways too.
me too.
Anyhow, there's got to be something you can do.
Gee, I didn't know I'd be so close.
Right when you first click on
I
it.
know he brought it down, and I thought, oh, we're sitting in the front row.
Not on computers. Christopher's saying not on computers.
Get up and say something.
Well, now I'm upside down.
Questions have to be sent in ahead of
I
time.
had sent
Okay.
And I had
Sorry, guys.
mine is very simple.
It's sideways.
But I didn't see it. I saw the initial
Yeah,
question.
Kevin Page says it's
You're going to have
sideways.
to go upright.
Okay.
It was
I'm going. I'm moving, guys. Sorry for those of you that work.
I was
Okay, now we got to move to the side.
I missed the Queen's planning meeting at Seaside.
Yeah, because I'm
I don't think this is a good view.
2, 3. Okay, so turn it this way. Still gonna. Okay, there's 4. Oh, almost 4. Okay, I have 4 on mine right now.
There. Yep.
I've got 4. There, look. There you go.
There. Chris says that's perfect.
That's perfect.
Good, yep.
I just.
Yep. You can see all 4 candidates.
I'm just gonna back up, see if I can just get a little bit more of them. How's that?
There, everybody's saying that's perfect, that works.
That's good? Yep. Okay.
Vicky, would you like to switch seats with me? Yeah.
Thanks, Vicky.
Yeah, he just muted my other way. Okay, yeah. Okay. Turn me off in the house, please. Don't ever get excited at all. It's Yeah, just Lee, if you can turn the mic off in the house, please, for a second. I'm just testing the signal going into the radio station. Check 2. Okay, I guess everyone's going to hear me. I hope everyone enjoys the sound of my voice. We're going to be listening to it for the next couple hours. All right, you got me down there? All right, it's fantastic. That wasn't awkward at all. Awesome, good. Okay, we'll go with that. Okay, cheers. What's that? Oh, yeah, yeah. Start talking, I'll still turn it on.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
Not working.
Oh, Lonnie's fishing.
What do we got going in the back there, guys? Testing.
There you go.
Can y'all hear me now?
Just keep talking into it, he's turning it up.
Okay.
There you go.
Now we go. Okay, now I can perform. Well, thank you and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Astor Theater as we hold the 2020 Region of Queens Mayoral Debate. My name is John Simmons, and I'm the chairman of the Astor Theater Society. The Astor would like to acknowledge that we are in Mi'kma'ki, the ancestral and unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people. We are all treaty people. I'd also like to recognize the presence of Kim Maslin, our MLA back there somewhere. Welcome. Now, I'd also like to thank the South Queens Chamber of Commerce and our own board of directors, member Susan Ledson, and interim manager Jean Robinson Dexter, for organizing this event and doing such a great job. This debate is the first official use of the Astor Theater since the COVID-19 shutdown. Thank you. We hope to continue to open up events later this fall. So far, this has worked out very well. And kudos to Rick Gilbert, our board member, who's helped us set a lot of things up. We will be following the official provincial COVID-19 guidelines. We ask everyone to wear their mask throughout the debate. Maintain 6 feet of separation between groups. We've got the seats allocated between groups and individuals so that as long as you're staying in your seat, you should be fine. And we can accommodate under this setup approximately 120 people, both in the main area and up on the stage. So that should all go well for the future. At this time, I'd like you to turn off or mute your phones. The debates are being recorded and will be available for viewing later on. The afternoon has no break for the audience. Our candidates will have a short break halfway through. We would ask you to remain in your seats. But if partway through you want to leave to go to the washroom, please feel free to do so, recognizing the 6 feet of social distancing. And finally, when leaving, those of you on the left side, please exit through these doors here. Those of you on the right side, exit on these doors, and then down onto Gorham Street through the back door. Anybody with mobility issues, we can certainly accommodate you so you can go out this door as well. So with that, with no further ado, I'd like to turn it over to Ed Helverson of QCCR, who will be your moderator for this debate. Thank you.
Awesome, thanks, John. So welcome to all of our candidates, welcome to everyone here, welcome back to the Astor. It's wonderful to be back in this wonderful place. Everything's wonderful. Which is good. On my right is Caitlin Nickerson. She's going to be dinging the bell. So we're going to run a very tight ship here today. Each candidate, the names are drawn at random to decide who's going to start. The first round, Susan will start. And we'll just want to let you know that we have 2 rounds. The first round of 5 questions were given to the candidates prior to today's debate. We'll take a little break after that, and there'll be another 3 questions, which the candidates have not seen. So that should be interesting to see how they answer on the fly. So let's not delay too long here. We're going to start our first round. The first question, actually, this looks like, we're going to opening remarks. As you say, that looks like the time is wrong. So we're going to start with opening remarks, and then as I said, Susan's going to get us started out. So we're going to have 2 minutes to do that, and as we said, we'll have 2 minutes exactly. I just had to explain and then we'll have a ding, and then you'll hear nothing, because that's how we control the debate, unlike the video itself. So, Susan, if you'll please get us started, your time starts now.
Great, thank you, Ed. I guess my mic is working. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Astor Theater, and it's great to have everyone here for the first official event since COVID. You know, it's hard to believe that the 4-year term of council has ended almost, and we are once again in a municipal election. Who would think that the past 8 months we would be managing the municipality and the communities we serve in a worldwide pandemic? I firmly believe that we all should be very commended for adhering to the provincial health directives. I want to thank the South Queens Chamber of Commerce for stepping up to the plate to have this debate. Also, the Astor Theatre Society for hosting it. We are being live streamed on Facebook and also on QCCR 99.3 FM, your local radio station, and I had to give that little plug in. Now let me outline my goals if I am successful in becoming your mayor. Goal number 1, I want to work with the Chief Administrative Officer, Chris McNeil, to discuss the role he plays and what is expected of council. Spending 16 years on council, sometimes we're not always able to find out exactly what the roles are on a day-to-day basis. So where the mayor is in council and in the administrative building, we'll have more opportunity to see the operations in more detail. Goal number 2, emphasize the role that the staff plays in the region of Queens. The staff are the front-line people whom the public deal with on a daily basis. Goal number 3, improve the lines of communication with the other levels of government to establish a good working relationship. Goal number 4, continue to engage with the community, including the businesses.
Nicely done. We may have to get some peanuts or something to throw at you. You can't see us letting out. We get a 30-second warning. That's okay. We'll figure something out as we go along. To continue on, we've got David to give his remarks.
Thank you, Ed, for moderating this 2020 election debate. I would also like to thank John Simmons, Chair of the Astor Board, for their participation with the South Queens Chamber of Commerce to coordinate this event, and for the usage of this great facility. A special thank you to the members of our audience who are present, and to viewers who are enjoying this debate from home. Today, all 4 candidates for mayor of the region of Queens will respond to a number of questions. I expect that there will be diversity in the many responses which are provided. All information included in those responses will be of benefit to the successful candidate on October 17th. My previous experience includes bank accountant, insurance underwriting, residential and industrial construction, pensions, contract negotiations, arbitrations, as well as being a long-term volunteer supporting conservation of fish, wildlife, and habitat, to only state a few. The skills which I have acquired during my career are valuable and have been utilized by me every day as your current mayor. The region has grown its economy over the last 4 years. Under my leadership, new families have moved to Queens, new businesses have opened, apartments have been constructed, and voters willing, I am prepared to continue to increase that effort. Thank you.
That was tight. You still have 30 seconds. Anything else you want to say? If you get a Christmas card list and then you want to get out, this is your chance. No? Okay. Well, we'll move it along then. Ryan Frillick, we've got 2 minutes, please.
Thank you. Thank you through the Chamber and the Astor for this opportunity. Welcome to everyone here, those at home watching, and a shout out to my friends at Hal Bay that are watching outside, and everyone in North Queens. Facebook Live is bringing us all a little bit closer together. It is really great that during COVID, we can come together with some sense of normal, even though it is very different. You know the next few years are going to be different as well in our COVID world. Different in the way we communicate, different in the way we do business, different in the way we celebrate. We're going to make some tough decisions moving forward, and they will not always be popular. But as a united front, we can face anything. I'm asking you today to listen, to really listen to the platforms that are being presented, and make an informed decision when you vote. I have 3 great people running against me, and we all want the best for our community. I believe we all have different styles, and hopefully you will find one that works for you. I'm going to present my platform, explain how I feel, and hopefully I can convince you to vote for me. I have a plan to take us into the future, to continue to be a diverse, inclusive, and welcoming community. It will require all of us together to work together, to have some fun along the way, and to continue to create Queens County that we want, the Queens County that we want. Let's go forward together.
My goodness, you guys rehearsed this. We have an extra 30 seconds. All right. Darlene, can you do as well as that?
I'm going to try.
All right. Okay, let's cut your 2 minutes here.
Board Chair John Simmons, moderator Ed Hatterson, worthy opponents, those in the audience. My name is Darlene Norman. I was raised for a few short years in Mill Village, spent the majority of my life in Milton, and raised my 2 children within the community of Port Jolly. It is my goal today to prove to you why I have the leadership abilities and qualities to lead the region of Queens into our future. It is with my determination that I wish to build a united council which will strengthen the well-being of the present and future citizens of our area. I intend to do that by listening, learning, and creating a vision which will lead us forward. My vision for the future of Queens County is a county in which we are a balanced population, a county in which we have an opportunity of diverse career opportunities, a county in which we will be the envy of continuing care across this province, and a county in which we will use the diversity and the strengths of our citizens rather than the opinion of consultants to move us forward into prosperity. Thank you.
Okay. That was a very good first round. Okay, thank you all for introducing yourselves. Now time to get to the meat of it, the questions. Hopefully you can see that. No, we think to look. We think to look over is the other thing. So when you're answering, you're really involved. So if you can try to remember how to look over. All right. So we're going to start our first question with David Dagwood. Oh, look at it. It's right there. I'll read it because it's hard for them to turn around. So question 1. What is your stance on open pen fish farms, and what do you feel is Council's role in influencing the future of this industry in the region of Queens? David Dagley, you have 2.5 minutes.
Thank you, Ed. I have been involved in the conservation of fish, wildlife, and habitat for over 45 years. A native run of wild Atlantic salmon must not exist in any tidal bay to be fish farmed. Liverpool Bay does not have a wild salmon migration. The carrying capacity of a bay can support a specific number of aquaculture fish. That number is determined by the bay flushing ability. Port Mattoon Bay does not flush well, but Liverpool Bay does. The Dole-Leahy Report on Aquaculture conducted 42 public consultation meetings throughout Nova Scotia in 2013-14, including Liverpool. The public advised that political decisions regarding aquaculture applications should cease. The province subsequently set up a 3-person aquaculture review panel to conduct aquaculture public hearings under a process similar to Nova Scotia Utility and Review Board hearings based on science. The Provincial Minister of Fisheries and Aquaculture and the Premier both have no say in this process. Council compiled a letter dated February 13, 2019 to Cook Aquaculture, Kelly Cove Salmon, requesting that items be researched and that the science be provided to the Department of Provincial Fisheries and Aquaculture. A majority motion of council was passed on April 23, 2019, stating that the region was opposed to finfish aquaculture expansion occurring in Liverpool Bay. Those items will be submitted into evidence when the Aquaculture Review Panel conducts its public hearing. My personal opinion is that there are ocean locations where finfish aquaculture is possible and locations where it is not. As mayor, I have no opinion. Under the Aquaculture Review Panel process, science will count, however, opinions will not matter. Municipal governments work closely with the province to receive grants. Making waves when it will have zero impact on the review process is counterproductive and may ultimately result in a financial cost to local taxpayers.
Thank you, David Gaylor. Brian Perrick, questions put to you. Would you like me to repeat it for you?
No,
Okay.
I'm good. Thank
Okay,
you.
2.5 minutes starts now.
Thank you so much. My stance has always been, and will continue to be, that I am opposed to the expansion of open pen fish farms in Liverpool Bay. From the moment the company made the first presentation, I felt that the environment would be compromised. I felt over the next months, I listened to the residents of Queens County. I heard their arguments opposing open pen fish farms. I brought the motion forward to council to oppose the expansion, despite being advised not to. The motion was passed after much deliberation. I was pleased that 3 of my colleagues voted with me. We have the opportunity to protect our bay, and we need to continue to stand up as council, as a community, and say it's not okay. I will continue my opposition on this issue, and as your mayor, I will be standing for you by speaking to the public hearing to oppose expansion. We understand that this is a provincial decision, but what is important to our residents must be important to council. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Turning now to Darlene Norman. We have 2.5 minutes.
Thank you. I wish to begin my words by publicly apologizing for some misguided comments I made well over a year ago in council. I was 7 years a slave to the Friends of Portmanteau Bay, and I should have known better than to make those comments. The Dole report, to which was already referenced, calls finfish farming low impact, high value aquaculture. We all know that finfish open net farming is not low impact, high value aquaculture. It impacts our marine environment in a huge way. We have feces, and we have uneaten food, and we have medication, which drifts to the bottom and it floats away. Presently, RQM is undergoing land use zoning planning and land use strategies. And we do that so that one knows what to expect in one's community, present and future. Finfish farming is an industry which comes in and sets up on the shores of our community. Open pen fish farms should not be located along the shorelines of Nova Scotia. Municipal units should bind together, and they should unite together, and they should take their common thought to the provincial government. Municipal units should demand more environmental inspections. Municipal units should demand more unscheduled inspections. Municipal units should demand to know the results of those environmental monitoring comments or reports when they're made. This is an industry that sets up on our doorstep and we have no control of it. Finfish farming should not be on the shores of Nova Scotia.
Okay. And to wrap things up, Susan McLeod.
Thank you. The open pen fish farms, namely Cook Inc.'s Kelly Cove salmon operation, has been in Liverpool Bay since 2002. I am assuming the purpose of this question arose from the recent public attention and opposition to this operation. The aquaculture industry, which includes oysters, shellfish, salmon, trout, and other species, is a growing industry that provides a food source that very near in the future could become less abundant from its natural source. Currently, worldwide, 50% of seafood comes from aquaculture. This industry has gone through a lot of growing pains since it was introduced to the ocean, as does any other new operation that starts at its infancy. Kelly Cove Salmon is like any other operator in that position. I am not an expert, nor do I pretend to know much about the science of the industry. I am not against open pen fish farms that are suited to a specific area, that are operated within regulations of the provincial government. However, I am opposed to any expansion in Liverpool Bay or any new sites that are proposed. There are strict monitoring of these sites under the license. Any owner or operator who invests dollars in their operation certainly would not risk the loss of money, product, or negative opposition to it. Municipalities have no control over open pen fish farms. They are licensed, monitored, and controlled by the provincial government, Department of Fisheries and Aquaculture. Thank you.
All right, that closes our first round out. Question to you. Brian Craig will start. And the question is, some members of the business community have expressed a lack of confidence in the region's ability to take on economic development. How do you plan to work with council to change that perception? Start with Brian Craig, and you've got 2.5 minutes.
Thank you so much. This is a great question, one that I'm asked many times. I would just like to say that most people that I talk to would agree with this. However, our economic development has been working hard to create a solid base. What we created is huge. Rebranding to Queen's Coast was critical in our move forward to develop a marketing campaign to attract visitors, new residents, new business, and development throughout the whole county. As mayor, I will commit to add resources to our economic development effort, if supported by council. The branding project, the internet project for the county, waterfront development, and flood mitigation have stretched the resources in that department. An additional resource in economic development will put a focus on business opportunities to all 4 corners of Queens County. This additional resource, working with current staff, will be able to look at the requirements of the county as a whole. It is key and crucial in the months ahead. Our key focus is to strengthen our tax base, create jobs, and grow Queens County. Thank you.
Next up, Darlene Norman.
Mine is a rather simple answer to this question, because that the question was asked is actually the answer. And the answer is communication. If there was communication between our business community and our regional staff, then one would know what the problem is. And the same is the two-way street. I've talked to several businesses, and they would like to see more of the elected presence in their businesses, asking the questions. How can we help you? What can we do? On the same time, the region can be asking of the businesses throughout this entire county. How's your life? What do you need? It's a two-way street, and the two-way street is communication. Some businesses have felt that there's too much elected involvement and too much interference with staff. I like good governance. Good governance means that you hire staff to do your work. And as elected officials, you make the decisions and you have your staff present them. If there exists differences between our business community, which is very valuable, and our governance, which is very valuable, then communication is the key to it all. Thanks.
All right. Moving on now, Susan McLeod.
Confidence impacts every other psychological contributor to performance in business. If there is a lack of confidence in our business community, and there is according to this question, it should be the role of the Region of Queens municipality to determine what areas are lacking. Is it lacking of funding to support programs? Is it the lack of recognition of the success of businesses? Is it the lack of commitment that our Economic Development Department has towards support for the business community? Are we not doing enough to encourage general economic activity? As councillors, our role is to set policy, establish planning guidelines, provide opportunities for staff to perform their duties as their mandate. But we can do more. Could be that we all need an attitude adjustment so that we can work together and be more interested in what the business community needs. But we have to do that together, open a better dialogue with each other, introduce, or reduce, I should say, the red tape that speaks often, puts a restriction on what businesses and operators want to do. At the current time, the municipality is holding public meetings to review the draft planning strategy and bylaws. Businesses are affected by this. Now is the time to really say what is wrong or what is right with it. As mayor, I would want to be involved in fostering our businesses, being involved in the South Queens Chamber Board of Trade on a regular basis, and have frank discussions with businesses about where they are, where they want to be, and where they've been. Thank you.
Okay, and finally, David.
Thank you, Ed. Economic development means different things to different people. Region of Queens staff are engaged in supporting many initiatives throughout all of Queens. It must be kept in mind that COVID-19 has significantly impacted most businesses and non-profit societies in Queens this year. The Town Hall Arts and Culture Centre is presently leased to the Astor Theatre Society. Members of that society are very experienced in utilizing that facility to bring additional attractions pertaining to arts and culture to Queens. Region staff are currently collaborating with the society on a number of initiatives. COVID-19 has required reduced seating capacities in the Astor as well. Queens Place Amira Centre is a showcase location to serve residents and attract visitors to Queens who spend their dollars in our local stores and accommodations. The search continues constantly for activities to fill that facility several years into the future. With current health protocols, facility limits are also greatly reduced. Promotional brochures are a collaborative effort with local businesses, and that will continue. For the past 4 years, the region promoted Queens in both Ontario and British Columbia as a great location for a family to reside. In the last 2 years alone, over 140 new families have moved to Queens. Many have purchased homes and employed carpenters, plumbers, and electricians, who now have a 6-month waiting list. Real estate is booming, and 2019 was their best year ever in Queens. These families are newcomers in our new customers in our local businesses. Our Director of Economic Development, Jenny Rocket, regularly attends Chamber of Commerce meetings to collaborate with Chamber members. Council and staff do collaborate on initiatives to further economic development in all of Queens, and this is expected to continue. Thank you.
All right, thank you, David. All right, that wraps up our economic development question. Question 3 deals with recreation. How would you use our regional facilities to provide opportunities for Queens residents to be more physically active and enjoy better access to arts and culture? Darlene, we're going to start with you.
Thank you, Ed. So we sit in one of the grand facilities that the Region of Queens owns, the Liverpool Town Arts and Culture Centre. And a lot of money has been spent on this building, and I appreciate the efforts of the Astor Theatre Society, but yet I do not think it's fair that such a facility is left in the hands of a volunteer organization. If I were the mayor, I would look at our resources and find how we can somehow put a staff member to assist that volunteer board into looking after this facility. I look at Queen's Place, a place which, as a councillor, I was part of the building of, and I feel in some ways I was sold a bill of goods. That beautiful grand lobby was meant to be a showcase for small musical artists and for promotional shows. Yet I know when I went to bat for the Liverpool Market many years ago to put their winter market there, I was told, no room. I look at all of our facilities. I look at Beach Meadows Beach. It's a great place in the wintertime. We keep it plowed. But how do you get to that low tide beach when our walks aren't shoveled? I look at the accessibility of what we do own. We need to improve it. We need to look at cost factors. Queen's Place is indeed a great place. It comes with cost. How do we reduce costs? How do we increase accessibility? It's very difficult to get into this room, into this building, except through that door. We need to fix things like that. So we have great recreational facilities. Some are cost prohibitive. We need to enhance them. We need to look at Pine Grove. We can continue expanding there. We simply need to be realistic at what we own. We need to look at all of it. We need to look at our Cub Camp, former Scout Camp in Greenfield. How many people know we even own it? We need to gather resources of what we own. We need to put them together, and we need to use them. Thank you.
That's what a spattering applause sounds like. Okay, next to answer the question is Susan McLeod.
Thank you. The established facilities such as the Mayoral Center have been a definite asset to our residents. The Mayoral Center has a nice service providing for hockey, for international curling events that we hosted 2 times, and it certainly has put us on the map. And it was all done by volunteers from Queens County. And volunteers are a really huge asset that we have. We're proud of Queen's Place, which has been known by visitors as the nicest rink in the Maritimes and beyond. From the arts and cultural aspect, there has been a venue for various types of performances. And you're sitting in that right now. The Astor Theater, it's a wonderful facility. It's over 100 years old, it has been maintained, and when artists are on the stage here, singing and performing, they are amazed at the acoustics in this building. And you know, that is something that we certainly can be proud of. And spread the good word, it is the best kept, unkept secret. There has been a significant amount of renovations done to this building as well. And we're thankful to the Astor Theater Society, who have stepped up to the plate to work out of this building and to hold various events in the venue here. And I understand now they're doing some great communication and working with the municipalities through the CAO and trying to get other different types of operations that they can perform here and take more charge of what's in here and how it can be best used by our community. This is what makes everything work. There are still more opportunities for the society and the region to work together, and as I said, they are continuing this work. We should promote our facilities as follows. Create a stronger partnership among the region, Queen's Place, and the Astor. Bring high-caliber events to both locations. Make access to both locations more affordable, particularly for the youth, for seniors, and for families. Continue to promote the skate park. Just a little while ago, there was a big event happening at the skate park, and it brought many young people in from all over the area, and it was well attended. We have an upcoming Recreation for All initiative, and this will be held and celebrated on October the 6th at Queen's Place. We encourage the public to attend. We should continue.
Thank you, Susan.
Time goes fast.
And Dave Daly.
Thank you, Ed. Region of Queens Council approved the Recreation for All program to be able to consider expanding the usage of municipal recreation programs to include those residents who are unable to participate due to financial constraints. This is more directed to activity programs at Queen's Place Mayoral Center and swimming programs at region facilities. Region of Queens has signed a lease with the Astor Theatre Society to manage the entire Town Hall Arts and Culture Centre. They are the experts in that field, and I look forward to them continuing to market and grow that facility to its maximum potential. The region created the Community Investment Fund several years ago to support nonprofit societies all over Region of Queens. Associations such as the Liverpool Curling Club, numerous community halls, recreational societies, ATV trail upgrades in North Queens, and events such as Hank Snow have been the beneficiaries of that program. The goal is to empower local communities to expand their recreational and cultural activities all throughout Queens. The Trestle Trail and the Trestle Trail Bridge are in the final stages of restoration, thanks to the Queens Rails and Trails Association, led by Brian Hatt. The region placed $500,000 in the budget to support that effort, in addition to other contributors. One can be certain that as COVID-19 restrictions are eased, additional affordable initiatives will surface after the election and prior to budget deliberations where that funding needs to be secured. Thank you.
Okay, and finally, Brian Craig. Thank you. This is a great question. I've always been an advocate of using our facilities better and smarter. I'm impressed with all the organizations who come forward with proposals to use our facilities, and as mayor, I would encourage more of this. We have so much to offer here in Queens. We should encourage everyone to use our parks, our trails, our buildings, anything we can offer to take advantage of our amazing landscape and improve our physical and mental health must be explored. This week, as mentioned, we will be unveiling Recreation for All, a program that makes sure there are no barriers for anyone to take part in our municipal programs. I love this, and as mayor, I will continue to bring council inclusive opportunities like this. Arts and culture are the keystone for every community, and we are so fortunate to be able to celebrate ours. Working together, we can take our rich culture, the rich culture of our neighbors, and celebrate with pride. Our Community Investment Fund has been put into place to help these organizations, and we are so proud of that as a council. Thank you.
Okay. Well, that wraps up our third question. The next one deals with our natural environment here. So, question 4. Queens is blessed with forests, beaches, trails, rivers, and lakes. What do you see as council's role in enhancing and protecting our natural assets? Susan McLeod will answer first.
Our biggest asset, with the exception of our people, is our natural environment. We should be promoting fishing, camping, and general tourism provincially, nationally, and internationally with much more rigorously. The biggest local issue of late is the Carter's Beach situation. I like the portion of the council's role in enhancing and protecting it. There has been every effort from the municipality to try to resolve the issue of traffic congestion and lack of respect for the area when it comes to garbage and toilet facilities. Both levels of government have to discuss this in a very constructive fashion. The visitors will always want to come to Carter's Beach, so rather than shut it out for everyone, let's take the attitude: if you can't hide it, highlight it. Work together to make this a welcoming spot. Put in an access road away from the residential area and provide safe parking and walkways to the beach. We should set and strongly enforce rules and regulations. If the public wants to use our beaches or any other of our natural resources, then they will have to abide by those rules.
We're going to be out of here in no time with this rate, you guys. we got a second impromptu round. We'll see how that goes. But continuing on with this line of questioning, David Day, you're up next, please.
Thank you, Ed. Council has been proactive in enhancing our natural assets such as Pine Grove Park and all other natural parks and trails, the Trestle Trail, and financially supporting ATV trail upgrades. Carter's Beach is a gem, and Council has been involved in working towards solutions with the province and residents. The road and beach are provincial ownership. The Minister of Nova Scotia Lands and Forestry is aware of what Region of Queens Municipality has offered as solutions over the past 4 years, and we are now waiting for a response from the department to learn what solutions are agreeable to them. Queens is blessed with forests, beaches, trails, rivers, and lakes, and all are valued. Region of Queens has a municipal planning strategy, land use bylaw, which identifies compatible uses of lands in Queens to reduce residential and business conflicts, as well as helping to eliminate future environmental conflicts. Many municipalities do not have this municipal planning. As an example, development near a lake or shoreline requires a setback and imposes limitations on permitted alterations within a greenbelt. This MPSLUB is now undergoing its 10-year review. The Provincial Department of Environment has the responsibility to enforce its environmental regulations pertaining to lakes, rivers, streams, and our coastline. Region of Queens has little enforcement ability beyond the former town of Liverpool, dogs, and dangerous and unsightly premises. It should be noted that the region operates one of the most efficient and environmental second-generation landfill and recycling facilities in the province. Thank you.
Okay. And Brian Triller, your question.
Thank you. It is disheartening to talk to so many people whose lives are affected by decisions made by provincial and federal governments that the municipality have no jurisdiction over. We need to enhance our relationship with all levels of government when dealing with issues like Carter's Beach, fish farms, clear cutting. As mayor, I will organize regular advisory roundtable discussions with council that would involve knowledgeable people from the environment, forest, ocean, healthcare, and seniors, so the municipality can stay ahead of these government decisions before they are made, so we as a municipality can take advantage of the opportunities and have a voice in the decision making. Thank you.
I think we all deserve a clap.
Yes, we have to coordinate. We'll work on that during the break, everybody. So we're going to have Darlene end this round off, please.
I truthfully found this a very difficult question to answer. Brian made statements which are very true about the fact that we as a local government are the ones that people come to, but there's so many issues that we have no ability to straightforward solve. We need to work very closely with our friends and partners in federal and provincial government. I know Carter's Beach has been a huge issue for many people, not only in Carter's Beach area, in Port Mattoon, as those cars go flying 100 miles an hour past their doors. I also heard from friends in Port Jolly that years ago when Ketchy Seaside went there, they lobbied for a separate entrance to Seaside. This summer has proved another racetrack through another small community. Mark Cartwright once said to me, and Mark was a great economic director we had in this region, Mark once said to me, Darlene, we can't all live in a national park. We need to harvest our forests. We need to make sustainable use of our waters. And there is a balance. We cannot live in a park. I went to a route into Greenfield on the 210. Someone's doing beautiful forestry management through there. There are issues that are beyond our control, but there are good management plans that we can encourage. And that's about it for that.
Okay. Very succinct that round. Okay. Question 5. We're going to have this question and then take just a quick break. And we're going to start with David Davey on this one. If elected mayor, how would you work to build a strong, cohesive government team that effectively represents the regions in the county?
Thank you, Ed. Region of Queens is managed by a mayor and 7 councillors representing all 7 districts in Queens. Councillors are expected to represent the residents in their districts and all residents within Queens. The mayor represents all residents in Queens as well. Voters select their council members on October 17th to perform all of the duties of their elected positions. With a population of approximately 10,500 citizens and the region holding 2 regular council meetings each month, 7 active councillors should easily be able to represent residents who live in the district which they reside and represent. For context, it is approximately 50 kilometers from the Lunenburg County line to Shelburne County and 50 kilometers from Liverpool to Annapolis County. In an effort to be closer to citizens of communities within Queens, Council has rotated the first council meeting of each fiscal quarter to hold those 4 meetings in different communities in Queens. COVID-19 required that those meetings not be held in communities this spring due to health safety protocols. One could always create a larger bureaucracy to obtain the same representation. However, it is taxpayers' money, and council must spend that money wisely. Thank you.
Okay. Ryan Frederick.
I have a very different answer for that. For me, it's about communication, communication, and more communication. As I visit every part of this county, many issues can be traced back to poor or lack of communication on the part of the council. We, along with the municipality, can do better. We need to be transparent, get the information in the hands of those who need it and when they need it. It will start with council working together as a team, working with staff as a team, and creating an open dialogue as a united front with members of each community and each community organization. This will break down some of the walls that have been created. It is imperative that this happens. We cannot move forward without addressing this. Regular town hall meetings, streaming council meetings, continuing to have scheduled evening meetings in various communities, and most importantly, is to sit around the table and listen to people. It is empowering for everybody. At the same time, we need to be working with different levels of government, talking and meeting with our MLA, our MP regularly, which will help us achieve our goal of creating a better relationship, which in turn empowers us all with opportunities. Thank you.
And
The question, building a stronger, more cohesive government, and I'm going to just say it straight out. A woman said to me yesterday while I was campaigning in Charleston, you know you have a disjointed council when you have 3 members of the present council running for mayor. And I thought about that, and I thought, that's true. 16 years I was on council, and I was very happy with the mayor that led my team. I was part of a council that we were not all best friends, but we all worked together and we get along together. I have watched and observed the present council as they snicker at each other, as they raise their eyebrows, and as they butt into the mayor's speech. That is not good governance. I intend to lead a cohesive government by leading good governance. We need good governance. We need respect. We should not be talking about representing different areas in Queens County. We are one area. We are not 7 people in a room, and we are not 7 different districts. We are one district. We have to look out for ourselves, and we should not be talking about how to develop cohesive government. We are not partisan. There should not be stress in the council chamber. My plan would be to bring back committee of the whole, where actual councillors have time to debate, discuss, 2 weeks prior to a council meeting. That is how I would bring back a cohesive government.
Susan McLeod, finish this round up.
Thank you. I'll just use what Darlene just said. My experience on council has provided me with an insight into the various needs of the 7 electoral districts in Queens. We do have different regions and characteristics for each area. Recognizing that, we have to have discussions with the various communities, organizations, like the Board of Trade in North Queens. North Queens has always had sort of a disconnect from South Queens, and you know that's been going on for a long, long time. However, talking with the people in North Queens, we do have a lot of similarities, and I think we really have to continue to open up lines of communication and be working together on a lot of these issues and growth in each area. We have inland rivers and forests and cottage country and rural areas that have permanent and seasonal residents. We have coastal regions with industry centered around the ocean, fishing, tourism, recreation. And the word communication, and we all happen to have that in our presentations today. And communication is really the key to all of this. Communication is an answer to mostly all of these questions that we've had today. And you know, we're stubborn sometimes and we don't want to share what we know with others, but you know, we all work together, we all are here for the same common purpose. And the folks up here on the stage today, we're here to serve you in a public presence. And we can only do that by knowing what you need and what you desire, and if we have the means to do that for you. I want to ensure that the less densely populated districts have a clear and vibrant voice on council. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, that concludes the first half of our program here. So we've got, we're going to take a little break, give the candidates a chance to stretch their legs and, you know, I don't know, maybe form a coalition with you two or two. But it'll take 10 minutes here and we'll resume with questions that actually came from the public. So we'll be right back. Sit tight, please. Lots to talk about during the intermission. So this next round are questions that came from the public, and the candidates have not seen these. And to make it a little more challenging for them, we've given them less time to answer. So each round now will have 2 minutes to come up with a response. And we've got 3 questions to start here, and then we'll get to some closing remarks from everybody. Brian, we're going to start out this second half with you. Our first question. During your time on council, what programs, services, or initiatives were you a part of that you feel greatly improved the lives of our citizens? You have 2 minutes.
Thank you. It's a great question. And first, I'd like to say that the latest one that we just completed was the diversity and inclusion motion that came before council just recently. And I've been talking about this for a very long time in different forms before council. I brought some members who worked on this in the past from other counties to council. Didn't have much luck with that. But over the years, I've kept at it, and with Black Lives Matter, I believe that that was an important issue that kind of brought everything together, everything that I've been working on in the past, and to bring it to council. So this diversity and inclusion was a great step forward, a very bold move for Queens. So I'm very, very proud of that. The other things that we have worked on in the past is offhand. We've been able to work on different policies that were brought before us. And I'm going to close with that. Sorry.
Okay. All right, moving down the line here, Darlene. During your time at council, what programs, services, or initiatives were you part of that you feel greatly improved the lives of our citizens?
So you made me think back 16 years. Okay, so affordable housing. We were the first council under Mayor John Leaf when provincial government announced the affordable housing plan, and we made our staff, we set that as a priority. Our staff worked, they created a case study of why we needed affordable housing. We searched out a contractor, I believe it was Ken Anthony at the time. Once that was secured, then it went on to Roy or Ray Parsons. So affordable housing was a great thing that we started as one of the first councils in Queens. Queens Place was something that we built together, which is a great benefit. The skateboard park, which was a great benefit. Public access, Hunts Point Beach, was not signed as a public access point. Communities only believed it was. But we did do research, and we did discover that there is not only Hunts Point, but there's various points of public access that the region of Queens owns along in touchable areas like Western Head and Mersey Point. And what else did we do? We did a whole lot of things. If I had my notes in front of me from 16 years, I could remember. But affordable housing, Queens Place, public access. Thanks.
This is almost that horrible job interview question. Yeah. This is what we're doing. We're interviewing you for the job. So, Susan, it's your turn to answer the question.
Okay. One of the projects that I was involved with as a councillor was the implementation of the region-wide planning strategy that was developed in 2008, which we are now reviewing again. At that time, there were only 3 planning strategies, and one in the town of Liverpool, one in the village of Brooklyn, and one in the village of Milton. Well, those were individuals, but in the other parts of the county, anyone could build anything, do anything with the land they had with no restrictions at all. So we took that initiative and combined and had the planning strategy for all of the region of Queens municipality, which makes it much more fair, and that people that are wanting to do developments know what's there for them and what they are able to do without impeding the lifestyle and the residents in those areas. Also, I was a member of the the library board, which is now the social public library system. I was a member on that board for many years, and one of the accomplishments that we did was we established the Eileen Freeman Library, which is now in Greenfield. Greenfield was only utilized before by the mobiles, but now they have their own library, which is in the Freeman School there. So that was an initiative that I was part of when I was on the library board. And when I was not a counselor for 4 years, I still retained and was a member at large on that library board. Also, I was part of the Queen's Place Committee and the Queen's Place Development, and I was just a year or so ago on the board of directors for the Queen's Place. So those are pretty much what I'm thinking about, except that there's a housing coalition, Lunenburg Queens Housing Coalition, and this group is out of Lunenburg County, but we have a representative on our council there, and they look at all aspects of housing, from the homeless and so on. Thank you.
And finally, David.
Thank you, Ed. As mayor, I'm privileged to be able to work on many initiatives with staff, and I have a few that I brought forward. One was the promotion to entice families to move to Queens. I provided information to staff as to how to put out a promotion in Ontario and BC, and we've had very much success with that program, and certainly real estate agents are very appreciative of the housing market that we have today, as well as the trades that are working in upgrading additions and such to those homes that are purchased. In the last 2 years, we've been privileged to have 140 new families move to Queens, and they spend their dollars in our stores and in our businesses and volunteer on our nonprofit societies. I reached out to developers because we sorely needed apartments, and I found some that were interested in building apartments in Queens, and of course now we have 28 new apartments that weren't here previously. Dollarama lands next to Queen's Place Emira Center, those lands were part of a 12-acre listing that we had with Turner Drake to sell. I looked at that 12-acre listing and thought, if I were a business owner, I would want to buy 12 acres and become the one who has to try to find people to build on the remaining land. So I asked staff if we could break up the 2-acre lot where Dollarama is. They said, sure. It was separate. So that sold within 30 days of being broken out as a 2-acre lot. Business View magazine and I did an interview and an article in their magazine which reaches out to 800,000 executives in North America on the economic status of the region of Queens. And it was a beautiful electronic magazine with the front picture on the front of the article, an aerial looking at
Everyone's going to be looking for that article now, David. You know that, right? See what that picture is.
5 more seconds.
I appreciate your adherence to the rules. Very commendable. Question number 2 in our second round, and it deals with poverty. The poverty level here is one of the highest in the province. As leader of municipal government, what do you plan to do to improve this? Darlene, we'll start with you.
It is indeed a huge issue, and I tell people at my many speak-outs, our bottom's getting bigger and our top's getting bigger and our middle's shrinking. And it's true, our middle class is disappearing and you just see poverty everywhere. Someone said to me the other day, a hungry child cannot learn, and everything starts with our education. While we may have breakfast programs in school, we are unlike our countries overseas, such as Scotland and Ireland, where it's mandated by the provincial government that every child that goes to school receives a hot lunch, and it's a hot lunch. I've had children go through school, I've been a teacher in school. If we want to eradicate our poverty, we have to eradicate it early. We need to educate people. Poverty and education are equal. We need to find ways to educate people on their limited income, how to stretch that food dollar. We need, as a region of Queens, to better communicate all the programs that various levels of government have in place, from federal income tax relief to provincial income tax relief to assessment. It's all about education. It's about early life. It's about food, clothing, and shelter. That's what we need to fix.
Okay. Thank you, Dave, Carly. Moving on, Susan, you've got the next.
Thank you. I understand that the poverty level is around the 30% range, which it would be wonderful if it was zero. You know, when we talk about poverty, we talk about disadvantaged families and people that are on low income, and we talk about seniors sometimes because we're on a fixed income. But there's another level of poverty that we often don't think of, and that's the working class person that's working on minimum wage, and they have families, and they want to be able to have a good lifestyle, but they're having to use their dollars, what they're making, just to put food on the table and to pay their heat and their lights and their other bills that are never going to go away. And I talked to a young woman the other day, and she said, you know, I'm working, I'm trying to do my best, but in order for me to make ends meet, all that money's going. So if I want any other entertainment or any of the excess other needs that I need, I have to use a credit card, and that puts me in the debt bracket. So poverty level is all around us, and some of us are fortunate that we do make good incomes and we share that. But I think there's a lot that has to be done with mental attitude as well, and mental health is a big factor in this. And I think there should be more attention paid on mental health, so to give these people a good self-esteem, so that they can go out and feel good about themselves and not have to be on the poverty line.
David Daly.
Thank you, Ed. I think it's well known that the provincial government supports low-income assistance to individuals. That's only one part of the equation. Region of Queens has looked at affordable housing in the past. We've talked to developers. The subsidy programs which they provide to developers will not allow developers to recover the expenses that they have put into their property. And we've reached out to the federal and provincial government and asked them, of course, to revise those programs so it's workable in Queens. It does work elsewhere in Nova Scotia due to income levels and such. We also have provided the Mount Pleasant School to the daycare for $1 to support that segment of society who have children and, of course, need that care. It's working well, to my understanding. And it's my hope that with effort, Region of Queens will be able to entice business to move here, to set up, and we will be able to create employment which will provide a job to all who require one. Thank you.
Brian.
Thank you. Well, we all know that this is a huge issue, and I think that working together is going to help it to start with. I've talked to people that work at Family and Children's Services, and the numbers were staggering. They were just staggering of people that are dependent and continue to be dependent on this. And the future doesn't look bright to change this, but I think working with other levels of government and showing our concern, because, as David said, sometimes it goes back to housing, it goes back to hunger, it goes back to a lot of issues that we need to deal with as a community. So it means coming together, it means coming to council, talking about this. There are some passionate people that are really concerned about this. And I think in the end, if we can work together on this and work, as I said, work with other levels of government, I think at least we'll be aware of the issue a little bit more than we are now. I mean, we hear people when we're campaigning talking about it, but that's us. But for the general public, as you move forward, I think it's crucial for you to know the figures and what we're dealing with and what Family and Children's Services, for an example, are dealing with at their level. And once we find that information, I think it's about moving forward and then tackling the actual issue. So as a mayor, I think these conversations are crucial to keep us informed and to be able to move us past this and into something that actually works a little bit better for our community and most communities. Thank you.
We're on to our final question of this round. Now, this was a bit of a long one, so we have to pay attention to this. If you are elected mayor, how do you plan to work with council to create a stronger, more open relationship with our communities, ensuring the voices of residents are heard and the work of council is both accessible and transparent? Susan McLeod, can you start us off?
Wow, I was reading it on the screen when you said that. Well, I've been a councillor for 16 years, and I've worked with 3 different mayors and different administration. And it's very, very rewarding when you know that you're out there trying to do things for the general public. But you have to have strong, you have to be strong. You have to take criticism. You often would like to have more praise and criticism. But, working with council and being cohesive and making sure that every decision or every comment is well heard and valid, it's valued. And we don't know all the answers. We're there, we learn like everybody else does. And working with a council that is open-minded and wants to really be there for a specific purpose. And the purpose that we are there for is to work on your behalf. We're sort of, when it comes to taxpayers, people don't want to pay more tax, but they want all the good services. So you often have to say, well, we have to pay for it somehow, but often that doesn't fit well sometimes. But working cohesively with council and understanding that we're all there for the same purpose, opening better lines of communication and not keeping secrets, and be transparent. When staff know things that the council does not know and all of a sudden you hear it out on the street, that's not the way it should be. And I'd like to have more open communication and meet with staff and meet with other fellow councillors, not just in a rigid council meeting, but have open discussions with them that we're able to do on a more regular basis.
Okay. That question now goes to you, David.
Thank you, Ed. I think we can all improve. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm perfect, because I'm not. And this question looks for, I think, perfection. And that's very difficult to achieve in a municipal council. Voters do determine who is on council, and that council must work together. It's a requirement to succeed. That is why we all strive to do better. A majority vote of 5-3 is required because a 4-4 vote is a tie and it's a failed lost motion. Having said all of that, yes, we have a diverse council. We have robust discussions, and we do pass many motions and actually put forward many initiatives. There's been a lot accomplished during the last 4 years of this council. We do record our actual council meetings. The audio of that has been available for at least the last 4 years on our website. We have been doing video and audio recordings since COVID, and it has certainly been available on the website as well. We send out newsletters all through Queens on a regular basis. Information is constantly put on Facebook and on our website. And I have put a number of issues on our website to inform the public of issues of significance such as COVID that are unfolding. So we will need to continue and expand, and hopefully we can meet the expectations of our citizens. Thank you.
Brian, would you like to repeat the question at this point, or are you?
No.
Okay. No, okay. Well, have you start?
I know that in the last 2 terms that I've been on council, we haven't worked efficiently. I think that the next council needs to have training from the moment they are elected. They need to understand what it's like to be part of a team. They need to have the tools that they require to be a councillor. They need to have open communication. And that doesn't mean we all have to have the same opinion. It means that we work well together. It's been challenging in the last 4 years when it comes to making decisions when you're a divided council. I think a lot of that comes back to leadership. I think that we, as mayor, we need to set an example. We need to move forward. We need to make sure that everybody have the tools that they need. And once that happens, and you break down those barriers between all of us, we can do anything. We will be able to work together and understand. And that spills over into the staff, it spills over into the community. When they see that united front working together on our behalf and your behalf. So for me, it's very simple. It's about training. It's about coming together from the get-go. The first 2 years that I was councillor, I struggled. I struggled for 2 years because I didn't have the tools I required. We're not going to let that happen again. We are going to get the proper training, and we're going to come out of the gate, and we're going to make some big differences. Thank you.
And to wrap up this portion of the questions, Darlene, would you like to repeat the question? You have, okay.
No, I think I...
All right, only 2 minutes starts now.
It's a little disheartening when I hear a councillor speak about keeping secrets and hearing things on the street. And when I hear another councillor who talks about the need to pay for team building. I was a part of a team on council for 16 years. And when I think back about that first question that I couldn't come up with, and then afterwards I thought, oh, but there was Port Mercy, and there was Pine Grove, and there was the fire hall, and there was the new library, and there were all those things. We didn't take team building. We simply had respect for one another. And personally, I read a lot of books about governance and how you get along. And a councillor at the time, one time, I wanted something so bad for West Queens, and I thought I had it. And a fellow councillor stood up, and he put his hand on his chest, and he took the vote away. And I was a little annoyed. But the next month, he brought something up for his community at Greenfield, and I thought, wow, what a great community. And I voted for it, I supported it, and I stood for it, and he was so surprised because I took his vote away the month before. And I went, what's that got to do with anything? It's not about I when it comes to council. It's about we. And we need to learn to get along, and we need to learn to act together. And you can teach all the team building you want, because I see it at my place of employment when people come in as guests, and they pay tens of thousands of dollars for team building. It's either in you or it isn't. That's it.
Well, thanks to everyone. That concludes the question portion of the debate. We're going to move to closing statements at this point, and we'll start, again, this is all drawn around, with David Daly. You have 2.5 minutes.
Thank you, Ed. Hopefully this debate has been an opportunity for you to assess the abilities and future potential of all candidates, and ultimately allow you to form an opinion as to who is the best choice to lead Region of Queens municipality forward as mayor. Queens is a wonderful place to live, work, raise a family, and retire. As I stated in my opening remarks, I possess the unique skills necessary to grow our economy and population in Queens. We must continue to build on past successes, help expand local businesses, search for new employers to create local jobs, and improve job opportunities. Our youth should have the option to work locally and not be forced to leave. They are our future. My record over the past 4 years as mayor speaks for itself. Internet upgrades are currently being installed in many parts of Queens as a result of a 3-year effort. Many areas need to be upgraded as well. Hillsview Acres was built in 1893, and we must have a new facility. Local arts and culture has endless potential. These are opportunities to expand existing efforts. Tourism must continue to be marketed and increased. Growing the population of Queens in all age classes has been occurring. I previously spoke about the 140 new families who have moved here in the last 2 years. Queens has been living within its tax base, and new construction will continue to share the tax burden amongst more properties. I have hopefully earned the confidence of those attending this debate. Good leadership requires wise decisions, which I am able to deliver. Voters must make the decision on voting day which candidate has the best skills to be mayor. Please ask yourself if the last 4 years have shown a noticeable improvement in the growth of Queens. I look forward to receiving your support on voting day to continue our progress. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Brian. Thank you. I stand here, actually sit, here as someone who's given a huge part of my life as a community volunteer, supporter for all events, councillor for 8 years, and always an ambassador for Queens County. This is my home, and I am very proud of it. I've taken these roles very seriously and with passion. At times, I put that passion ahead of family, relationships, and my health. I am standing here once again, willing to do it with all my heart for the next 4 years. If you want a mayor who is happy with the status quo and does not see any change, a mayor who looks to the past and struggles to see the future, or a mayor who can be easily led astray, I am not your guide. If you want a mayor who, together with council, will lean into the future with acknowledging the past, knowing that in order to be successful, we must move forward together, I am your guide. Globally, we have a climate crisis which will affect us in the future. It may seem far away for most, but we must do better as a county to help reverse the effects. Issues like child poverty and housing need to be addressed by everyone. This is the most important 4 years ahead of us. Decisions we make as council will mold our future for years to come. Please read my platform, reach out to me, and make an informed decision. Don't vote based on the number of signs you see or comments on social media. Vote with knowledge. I am sure you will make the right decision and vote for me. Thank you very much, and I am pleased to have been given this opportunity.
They always say ask for what you want, right?
That's what I was told when I came.
I think there's somebody else who might want the same thing as you. Darlene, we're going to hear your take now, please.
As one that believes you always need to swing sideways when the road swings that way, I did not write closing remarks because I just wanted to see how things went. I am ready to lead this council down a path in which we will be prosperous, respectful, our natural environment will stay intact. Personally, I believe a term of 1 year is not enough to make a change in a council. This council needs a vision for 2 years, 5 years, 7, 9, 10 years to make a change. I want this to be a region where our children have a choice to stay if they so wish to. We will always have minimum pay jobs. It is a simple way of society. But yet we need to make life easier for those at the minimal pay, and we saw that. As you all know, since March and COVID and everything else has hit, the world has changed. We need a mayor who can adapt, think on their feet, and be willing to change. There's many people in this region that's resilient to change. They like things the way they are. We hear from people who've moved here, who want things just the way they are. But things can't stay just the way they are. We need to all work together. We need to think together. We need to invest in time together. We need to get to know one another. We need to link North and South Queens together. I have great leadership abilities. I have great governance skills. I learned that signs don't say a thing. People have signs on their lawn because someone asked them to put them there and they didn't want to say no. So don't look at signs. Maybe we'll have an election sometime and outlaw signs. It's about who you are. I'd like to get to know you all. I'm on week 2 of getting around this county. And I believe I'd be a great mayor for all of you people in Queens County. Thanks.
For women, you have 1 second left. Well done. All right. And the last word of today actually goes to Susan.
Great, thank you. I had a prepared closing remarks, but I'm flipping it over. I really appreciate everyone's input today. And you know, when you're up here talking with other colleagues, and you learn a lot. Every day when I wake up, I get out of bed and I have my coffee, maybe 2, and I go on my internet and I look at things and I think to myself, you know, I'm learning something every day. And you learn more about your community when you're out there. I am out there every day. I have provided my own time. I've been on organizations. I've been on council for 16 years, and I've learned a lot, and there's still a lot more to learn. But people say to me, my gosh, there must be more of 1, 2, or 3 of you because you're always everywhere. I love my community. I've been born, raised, and lived in Queens County. I worked in various businesses. I owned my own business. I know what business how struggling it is to own your own business. I did pass it on to my daughter so that business would stay in Queens County. And you know, all these folks up here today, I commend them because we're all learning something. We've all given our input, and it's a very tough thing to be out there in the public because your demands are there. But you have to have broad shoulders and you have to have thick skin. And you know, that's what you do. And if you don't like it, then you shouldn't be there. And I've been there long enough, and even when I wasn't on council for 14 years, I was still out there serving the needs of my community in various organizations. And as your mayor, I will continue to do that. I will be out there at every community event. I will be out there listening to you, and I will be out there serving the needs of our community. And that's my pledge.
Well, that was a quick afternoon. I felt like we got a lot of information on there. I want to thank all the candidates for being here today. And thanks to the South Queens Chamber of Commerce for putting this together. And of course to the Astor Theater for hosting. Wonderful to be back. My name is Ed Halverson with QCCR, and you can listen to this broadcast again. We'll have it on a couple of times during the week. Just please check our Facebook page or listen on air to let you know when that's going to be airing. And for Caitlin Nixon, thank you very much. Good night, everyone.